streaming through the digital night. Jim Bustle, he's guiding the light, unveiling mysteries of the unknown, UFOs in the alien zone. He's a man on a mission, exploring ancient secrets, it's his addiction. Debating, discussing with his loyal crew. Cosmic conversations, unveiling the truth.
Oh shit. Welcome back, everybody. Let me get the background music back on here. Fucking right, everybody. Welcome. That R&B shit, you know? That soulful shit. Divinormous is the mastermind behind that. Fucking sick. Awesome, man. Welcome, everyone. Digi, God bless her. Thank you for the resubscription. Me, welcome. DM, Leak, and Rabbit, everybody. Welcome back once again. Another stream. God damn, what are we gonna talk about tonight? Oh fuck, couple things. I've been wanting to watch some of these videos that I haven't been able to watch. So one of them is definitely going to be these another video on the Egyptian vases, however the fuck you want to say it. That Ben from Uncharted X has been looking into. Something I've been following. Potentially some hard proof of some advanced ancient civilization. Big news, honestly, that isn't really being picked up by any other outlets. So, you know, it's just the way that it fucking goes. First 10 witnesses confirmed by congressional official. Rumors swirling. Discord compromised. Be careful, lads, posting spicy memes now in Discord or even in any group chat you're in, because they're always listening and they might just charge you for racism or sexism or whatever other bullshit charge they can charge people for. Thankfully, the prisons here in Canada are so full that I don't think that's really going to be reality. But unfortunately, there are places in the world that's happening. The cross. I'm going to try not to fucking go on a ramble about that. But a couple things I kind of ran into today that were very interesting. I thought I'd communicate. But anyway, everybody watching the VODs, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Still tuning in. It's awesome. You can catch most of the VODs on YouTube now. I've uploaded the entire thing in its entirety, unclipped. I unfortunately cannot clip them on my setup right now. I cannot edit them down, so they're just up in the entirety on there. I am still looking for an editor, though, so people that are an editor, maybe you're familiar with just chatting IRL content, please hit me up. We can work together. Make some videos. Make some viral videos. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, yes, without further ado. Ooh, why didn't that do that? Here we go. Oops. I'll talk about that in a second. Oh yes, this evening. Fuck. I always start these off with me just yelling at all the stupid stuff that's going on where I'm living right now, which happens to be Canada, unfortunately. Canada was once a great, prosperous nation known for people's peaceful nature. Now we're known for just cuckery and beta syndrome. That's thanks to our prime minister, who is a cuck and a giant beta. Retroactively, I'm sure once this bill passes, I'll be thrown in jail, along with many other people in here. I'm sure from Canada will be thrown to the gulags mining maple syrup. It's all right though. I'll just drink it all and probably die in a diabetic coma. They're not going to keep me. They won't hold us down, man. You know what it is, right? We're not gonna. We're not going to submit. Fuck that. Thought I'd read this. This is, I don't want to talk about this again, honestly. Yes, rest in pepperoni, Aunt Jemima. Your syrup wasn't real. We know the difference here in the Great White North. What real syrup is, right? Not sugar syrup, not that bullshit, right? It doesn't have that maple flavor to it. Only the real stuff that's like $15 a bottle now, thanks to inflation. Thank you, Justin. Former chair of the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal, David Thomas, talking about the Liberals' Aurelian Bill C-63. If this passes, God help us, because I don't know where it will go. You know things are bad when the former chair for the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal says, if this passes, God help us. Man, I don't know. Fuck. It's just fucking so bad. Like, I recommend New Brunswick as a Canadian travel destination for someone to do who's never been there. It's not related to the woo unless you... absolutely, man. If you make it to the southern part of the province, fucking hit me up. I'll go get a beer. To be completely honest with you, if you're looking to spend money, probably Halifax would be the best place to go. If you're planning like a proper trip with the missus. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah. We were in the same situation there recently. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, New Brunswick, to be completely honest, did you? No. But like Halifax or PEI in Atlantic Canada are unbelievable. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Like what time of year were you going? Like in spring you guys wanted to go? You wanted to go in the spring? Yeah, Newfoundland's a beautiful place. I actually haven't been there, but everyone I know has been there. End of March. Okay. Yeah, PEI wouldn't be the greatest at. Honestly, man, probably Halifax would be probably your best bet, just because you can probably fly into there cheaper, and it is a big city now with so much to do. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I just read a cleaner and buy a new couch. That could also be it. Yeah. Yeah, that might be the best idea. Yeah. If you can go to PEI, Prince Edward Island, for people that don't know, in the summer, like Hobbiton. Absolutely surreal experience there. Crazy spot. PEI in the summer. Go to Michael Smith's homestead there, or fucking hotel and restaurant. Oh, God. We were so fucked up when I was there. It was so good, though. Oh, my God. The food is so good. It's amazing. Oh, man. Listen, you fucking go in the summer. Yeah, if you go in the summer, let me know. I'll fucking meet you there, and we'll go to Michael Smith's. That'd be fucking sick. Yeah. But anyone traveling Atlantic, yeah, just go to PEI in the summer and go to Michael Smith's restaurant. And if you can afford it, stay at his place. But you can stay close to him for much cheaper. But yeah, Crimswick's welcome, man. Yeah. I can get my fucking bike license too, man. God damn it. I've been meaning to do that for like the last fucking 10 years. Anyway. Yeah. hopefully Canada hasn't evolved into some civil war by then. I'll tell everyone where it will go. So this is this gentleman here, David Thomas. When freedom of speech is outlawed in Canada, when liberal appointees can convict people of thought crimes they haven't even committed yet, and when life sentences are doled out by liberal kangaroo courts for things liberals hate, then Canada will become a dystopian dictatorship. The end of Bay Fortune. That's absolutely it. Yes, that is it. Yeah. No free and fair elections will be possible in post C63 Canada, since any political opponent for the government could simply be targeted by anonymous liberal accusers and convicted as hateful. Yeah. Etc. Etc. The bill's fucking ridiculous. People are speaking out about it. In at Bay Fortune. Oh yes. Temporarily closed. Yeah, they're only open seasonally, I think. Man, this fucking place. Let me tell you. Now, I am a huge foodie. For people that follow my Instagram, you can follow my Instagram, follow my links. I post foods. I just posted a nice creme brulee I threw together, which objectively looked terrible, but it tasted really fucking good. I followed Michael Smith had a show on Food Network in Canada that I grew up watching, actually. And I've met him twice, although on both occasions I just curled into a ball essentially because I was so nervous. I met a couple people who were like famous, and this guy, for some reason, I actually had whatever it's called. I was in shock a little bit. I was like, wow, you're actually real. Like, he's like this 6'7" tall, handsome man who's a chef. And like, that was my dream as a kid, really. And I was like, fuck, I couldn't cope with it. I got cocked in the moment and I was fine with it. This is his place here. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Go there. If you go there, let me know when you're going. I've been planning on getting a group of people together to try and go this summer. You probably have to book like now. It may already be too late. It's like the place to go. Yeah, it is fucking far. But this place is otherworldly. You kind of sit down on this like They got this giant fire. What if we have a picture of the fucking place here? You sit in front of this giant like fireplace, and you eat with everyone that's staying there essentially. And it's this weird like, where it's a fireworks feast. Here's the place where you eat. You eat like with everybody in this very communal setting. Everyone's drinking and laughing, and it's just so. It reminded me when I first went. It was when the Hobbit movie came out, and it reminded me of the Hobbit so much. The whole environment, and at the end you have this giant bonfire, and you all roast marshmallows that they make homemade. And I was like, "Fuck, man, that's just so mystical experience." Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. How close are you close? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 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 You're kind of way the fuck out there, aren't you? Yeah, we are all kind of central. Yeah, Montreal's not that far away. It's like fucking 2-hour plane ride. Same with Toronto. It's like an hour and a half plane ride essentially, I think, from here in New Brunswick. So yeah, there's all Michael's books. Where the fuck are the pictures at? Where's the fireworks feast, Michael? I don't know. How do you see this? The fireworks feast. Here's right here. You essentially drink all day. You show up, and they have all these young chefs from all over the world that come to work with Michael because he's a famous chef. And you walk through this area, which I'm not showing here, where they get all these like appetizers set up, and you just drank, and then you go in at some point and you sit down, you have this like 7 or 8 course meal, and then Michael will be right there with you cooking it, and then you go out and you have the bonfire, and it's like, fuck, man, it's so fucking cool. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Fuck, man. Canada's a big place. People forget that. I forget that, how big Canada is. Canada. Yeah. Anyway, I love food. I just love having food and drink and sitting around a fireplace and talking, and it's so primal. It's something that me and DM Leak used to talk about. Something that Stephen Fry had mentioned, the great Stephen Fry, was the loss of the hearth that we've had really in our culture, where we sit around with our families now in front of digital light right here now. But what people did in times past, what really humans did, we were communal creatures. Like, we grew up in communities. Like, we would live in these very small communities, and we would regularly get together. So what people would usually do in many cultures, and they still do in some tribal places in the world, is at the end of the day, the workday, they come together at a campfire, and they would eat and drink, and they would relax, and they would tell stories, and they would talk, and they would converse. What's happened now is we've kind of all been segregated into our own little bubbles. And this is more recent, probably like in the 50s, really in the 40s and the 50s this kind of happened, probably a little bit sooner now, but that popularized this idea. But we kind of are all segregated away from one another, and people will still go to bars and stuff. That's one place this stuff still happens. But sitting around a fire, eating good food, drinking, talking, it's so cathartic. And it's something that just has been lost in our culture. And it isn't until you start going out and actively seeking this out, you realize, oh my God, this is so necessary for people's mental health. It's no wonder we're all going fucking insane. The world's going insane. We're also isolated. We've lost that. And it's so depressing. Yeah, it is, man. It's something that we desperately need to get back to. And, yeah, fucking right, you know? That's what we're doing right here, though, right? That's what we're trying to do. And I think that's what I was trying to do with this. And I think what I enjoyed about these streams and this format is that we can kind of do this. We can get this kind of, although it's a very one-sided conversation in regards to this, like I'm talking, but we're all communicating here, right? And that's what I enjoyed about this dynamic. But it's just something we need to bring back, like, and that doesn't cost like $350, right? Like, it's obviously expensive, yeah. As the wind blows down the trees, more bonfires were happening. That's true, though. As Bill Gates gets more and more psychotic, he'll start more and more forest fires, and then we'll have those fires. We'll sit around the fires as everyone burns. That's a dark thing to think about. My own intuition on the world, honestly, is that we desperately need to kind of decentralize away from this system that we've got, which has kind of got a little bit out of control. And I think naturally people will start to pull back away into their communities. There'll be an uncomfortable adjustment period at some point, but I really feel like it'll be for the betterment of everyone and for mankind, for us to, instead of jumping towards globalism, which is puppeted by a bunch of fucking elitist assholes now, take a step back and kind of reorient ourselves. And then once we take a step back and we fix things and fix corruption, we can then all take a step forward collectively and move back into this one world system. But yeah, it's kind of a little bit out of control. So yeah, a bit warmer. I mean, my son are going to do that. Just get pissed in front of a fire. Man, it's something tribal about it though, right, Rabbit? It's something, there's something about it, man. It's in our blood, I think. And again, conversation flows, you drank. It's just, there's something about, especially at night too, being out at night under the stars, under a fire. I miss it. You desperately kind of need it. Yeah. Why was a warning? Laser beams coming down, man, you know. Yeah, you're my only friend outlet. Thanks, man. I have a family, do chores, run errands, go to bed, go to work, and pretty much just come here, maybe hang out with some of the streamers, feel less alone. Hey, man, no worries. Welcome. Hey, listen, we've had many great conversations. So, again, absolutely enormous, man. Yeah, and this is why I was doing this, to meet people. Listen, man, and to everybody in here as well, we need to hang out more on the weekend, like on Friday, Saturday night, where I'm not fucking out. The missus, we just need to hang out in Discord. I love to talk to everybody. Some people in here I haven't talked to, right? Like Rabbit, Divinormus, Crimsix, you know, we need to just chat, guys. Like, we need to chat. Like, everybody needs to come chill out and chat. If you're around some night, I fucking love to talk to everybody. Like, that's honestly why I'm doing this, because I just love speaking with everybody. I like hearing what everybody has to think too. I know I'm just rambling about shit all the time, but I genuinely am interested in other people's perspectives on things. And I genuinely value it. And I just feel like the more people we can reach, the better conversation we can have with all this. So, yeah. I've got my social life a couple of years before COVID when I started working from home. Yeah, man. No, and I get it too, right? I was doing the same thing. Like, you know, me and some of the boys in here, right? As DM League and Creek League know, right? It was us in our Discord. And we were just isolated people of like mind talking and having conversation. And at some point, me and DM League thought, why the fuck would this just do it on the internet, right? We'll reach out to more people of like mind. And again, it's that cathartic thing of just talking with people that you share something in common with. Yeah, alone together. Yeah, man. And it's something I think that we all just desperately need. And yeah, it's awesome that we're able to do this. So yeah. I was talking about this. Yeah, man. Yeah. You just literally jump into a chat, Rabbit. Yeah, it's not that. Yeah. Listen, few people are more technologically inept than me. Like, the fact any of this is even fucking working right now, like, it is a goddamn miracle. I still have to we'll have to figure out. I wanted multi-stream. I have no fucking idea. I got to figure out how to stream to Twitter and stuff on OBS. I have no idea. I got to figure this out. But yeah, no, I have no idea either. You just jump into chat channel when people are in it, essentially, Rabbit. Yeah. Yeah, man. I know. Yeah, it is. It feels like a safe space for having these woo talks. Absolutely, man. Yeah, and I think that's. I feel like it's. I don't know if it's faded, but everybody that's been in here has been so great. And it's great that we've all kind of come together on this. It's my concern if I can start expanding out more, if I go to Twitter, or that I'll just have to like really moderate things, because I don't want to create some kind of fucking toxic environment. I was watching Aiden Ross's stream. Holy fuck, man. Oh my God. He accidentally got Andrew Tate arrested, and I watched a bit of the stream. And I was like, man, I was like, fuck, I don't want to deal. I don't want to get to the point with this where we can't just talk though. Like when the chat is moving at like 30 miles an hour, it's like, yeah, HFX Pens, welcome. Yeah. I don't get it. I had a hard time understanding it to begin with, like the whole Twitch meme, but I wrapped my head around it finally. And I was like, man, yeah, it's just like fucking eating crayons, man. It's like, I just didn't fucking understand it. Yeah, that's, and I don't know if I like that. But then that's like what the Discord will be used for. Like, at some point, I'll probably just like fucking shut it off. If by the grace of God that actually happens, that I get more viewership, I'll probably just shut the fucking Discord off, or we'll have, I think almost everybody, I think, is like, let me see here. I think I tried to move everybody. Hold on. To the Wise Elders, just make sure I moved everyone up. I think I have now. Just let me know. The Wise Elders thing in the Discord is like the officer chat essentially, which means we can all just hang out. So that was something I definitely wanted to make sure that I did, because if I can start getting, there have been more people joining, I've noticed, and I don't know who they are. So for everybody that just hangs out, I just want to, so that we can all hang out still. That's something I don't want to fuck up. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, you can see when a big streamer interact with people IRL public spaces where they're like lose touch with maintaining focus on one individual. Yeah, man, and that's terrible, because I think probably you do want to still have that connection, but you're so strained for time, like you'll lose out on that. This happened a couple times here, I know, and I apologize, where I'll try to get back to something and I can't, because you get lost in conversation, or someone will jump on and we'll have conversation and it's hard to get back to things. I'm starting to get a tiny bit of that. I hope it doesn't get too much, but that's why we want to maintain everybody that's here now. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, man. Yeah, no. I've been trying to get everybody that's on into this space so that, and you can see what we did is, yeah, there we go. Yeah. You can top secret officer chat. Yeah. You can now jump into a special chat, which isn't available to people who I don't really know. And then that's everybody like IRL too that's on here that I know that live around here. So everybody, next time we're on, you can kind of jump in and we'll just hang out and chill out. So yeah. Manage Discord alerts is a huge thing. Most notification settings by default are way spammy. Yeah, you helped me kind of figure that out, did you? I appreciate that. We'll have to further figure it out, I guess, as time goes on. But yeah, it's a whole process I'm acclimating to. Like, I don't fucking know. The only thing I fuck around with, I know amp technology, like tube technology from the fucking like 40s and the 50s. I'm so unfamiliar with computers. I just don't. Although I did put together Madam Misery's PC, barely. I had the the monitor plugged into the wrong fucking output for like weeks. I was like, why isn't this working? Do I have to send the computer back? And I think it was Digi who told me, no, it's plugged into the fucking CPU, not the graphics card, you idiot. And I was like, fuck. Like, I can't be trusted with any of it. It's unfortunate. Yeah. No, yeah, so I don't feel as bad, man. It's yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not. It's a skill. It's a skill. It's a knowledge base. It's something I just didn't develop and I have no idea about. But here we are, right? Here we are. Thank Christ. Speaking of this, again, I don't want to put a fucking downer mood on things. I just wanted to cover this because Kriegly, you posted this and I ran into this on Twitter too. And I was like, fuck. Anyway, just speaking of Discord, which I do love, federal agencies are secretly collaborating with gaming companies to monitor and fight domestic extremism. A report by the GAO, whatever that is, report reveals undisclosed collaboration between the FBI, DHS, and huge companies like Roblox, Discord, and Reddit. The report warns of extremists using aesthetics, humor, and memes. So what qualifies as an extremist? In recent years, content on social media and gaming platforms that promotes domestic violent extremism has influenced several high-profile attacks, according to experts and agency officials. So, I'll tell you a story. Probably most people are familiar with here, because I think everybody's probably old enough to remember this. But when Call of Duty Black Ops 2 came out, so I played the original Call of Duties, Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2. Huge into those. Played the shit out of them. I stopped because I broke too many fucking controllers trying to get more than 2.0 KD average. My buddy I got him into it, and then he was obsessed with it. Anyway, I remember the night Black Ops 2 came out, they added this feature where you could make your own emblem. And I remember being on with them. It's like 2, 3 in the morning, right? So he got it on his Xbox. His brother got it on his Xbox. And I was there with them playing co-op. And instantly, all you saw were people being hanged, swastikas. It was just the most offensive, toxic shit. Literally 24 hours after the game launched, they had to, I think they removed the feature. It was that bad. So do you remember that, Crimson? Yeah. Now, are those people actually Nazis? No. They're fucking like teenagers, guys in their early 20s who are drunk, just being trolls, right? And it's like, how much of that behavior could be now? What would that be interpreted as by these agencies? Extremist behavior, neo-Nazis. None of these people are fucking neo-Nazis. They're trolling the game developers because they're like, oh, you let me do anything? Okay, game's on you, right? It's like this smooth brain fucking take where it's like, obviously you don't want to be promoting that ideology. Objectively, that ideology is not really funny to be joking about because of fucking how many people were killed in regards to it. But at the same time, you don't go and arrest some kid because he jokingly put a swastika on his fucking Call of Duty fucking character's arm. It's like, okay, yeah, let's educate you as to why that's not really funny, right? We're not going to throw you in jail. The edgelords. Yeah, man. It looks in mirror. Yeah. Yeah, it's so I feel like this stuff is kind of in the same vein where disseminate messages widely. Ways to domestic violence extremists use online platforms. Connect individuals who have unmet social or emotional needs with the feeling or identity of belonging. OnlyFans. Use shared narratives and aesthetics to build a sense of community. Build trust with others on gaming platforms and create receptivity to extremist ideas. Mobilize online, fundraise, crowdfunding, merchandise. So Jake Paul and fucking Logan Paul. It's fucking organize online doxing, harassment. Move recruits to private or secure platforms to communicate more openly. So essentially, the TLDR on this is they are monitoring these platforms. That's just reiterating that. They're working with Discord. We had known this. We posted about this actually months ago, right? Krieg League, where there was a fucking actually the Minecraft guy or something, the guy who leaked sensitive military documents on a Discord server dedicated to Minecraft got busted because they were monitoring it. Essentially, there was flag words put up. They were able to trace back to what he was doing essentially by what he was posting. And it was extremely concerning because obviously there are things posted here or anywhere, which it's like, fuck Justin Trudeau is objectively an idiot, right? Or fuck Klaus Schwab, this is stupid. Like this guy is promoting the CCP's social credit system and advocating for it and saying it's a great idea. That person is a domestic terrorist, right? He's wherever he is in Switzerland. That ideology is extremely dystopian and a criminal. So talk about Nazism. So these hyper wealthy billionaires are allowed to abdicate for these kinds of criminal ideologies, really, like these horrific ideas. But like people can't joke around about these things without being thrown in jail, right? Because these people are quite literally above the law. And that's just the dynamic we have, I guess, which is extremely obnoxious. U.S. can rewind the internet at least 1 week to replay conversations, like the whole internet. Oh man, when you know more knowledge about this than me, right? Yeah, did you? And you've told me about this stuff, and it's like, fuck. We just hope that there's still a spirit of freedom out there that has our back. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's still some patriots, right, out there in the world that like understand freedom. But they don't need IP address. They can narrow down you simply by looking at what you say. I mean, and I don't even, not that I do anything on the internet really, so I'm not concerned, but I'm sure like even rhetoric like this, like coming on and saying like, fuck Justin Trudeau with his recent law, which I think I just closed the page, but that bill C-63 that they're about to pass, that kind of rhetoric can land me in jail. Like literally. And I'm going to be calling my local representative, but I would definitely advocate for everybody in Canada to definitely call their local representatives and say, you're going to vote against that, right? And it's to the point really where I think if they're not going to, some kind of protest should be gathered. Really, the people who proposed that legislation should be investigated and thrown into jail. Because that to me is just blatantly trying to create some kind of authoritarian regime. Like they should be prosecuted, and how they're not is even more concerning, honestly. Yeah, like they're gonna go train me on some networking certification shit through a global knowledge program. Was telling me about his government contacts. Mostly there's a low frequency antenna in the Gulf of Mexico that communicate through the core of the Earth to submarines underwater on the other side of the planet. Holy fuck. Man. The control system is in place, right? Yeah. Documentary that some Aussies did breaking the pine gap was pretty neat. Really? Okay. Man. I just saw recently that actually it was my partner was telling me about headphones too, I guess. The people are finding that like wireless headphones might be leading to brain tumors or some shit. I don't know if we'll have to look into that. That's fucked if that's the case. Like, what else are they doing that we don't know about? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've heard some satellites can see through walls. Man, are they watching us right now at all times? Do we need some force to come by and rip all the satellites out of the sky? Maybe it's going to at some point. Who knows? Oh, fuck, this was funny. Oh, man. Who had high resolution satellite footage seen back in like the 70s, like 5 minutes resolution. Holy fuck. So like right now they can zoom in on pretty much anything. Oh, man. So that, even to the UAP question, 100% they would have footage of these things in high resolution. Just to like some of the whistleblowers' claims. So it was Donna O'Hare back in the early 2000s. She got contracted to bring in NASA. And she was told by multiple people there, specifically one guy heading the department at NASA that like released satellite footage, high-res satellite images, that they would regularly airbrush these things out, and they were like in high definition, these UFOs. So, you know, you see, I'm gonna watch that Sean Kirkpatrick clip here in a second, but you just fucking horseshit. Oh, just pathetic horseshit. Yeah. This is funny. They got Greta, whatever, globalist puppet girl who's probably been psychologically abused. Anyway, even if you assume that human-induced CO2 emissions are causing the planet to boil, they're not. Every single sacrifice you are being forced to make in the pursuit of net zero is being canceled out by what China is doing. Yet you won't hear a word about that from Greta or the rest of the climate doomsday bedwetter cult, because they're probably getting money from these countries. Because it's not really about saving the planet, it's about deliberately deindustrializing, impoverishing, and destroying the West so that China can take over as a new global superpower. Could very well be a psychological operation. Here's a great chart, which in actual fact is true. It's actually worse than this now, in 2024. You can see how carbon emissions have changed since the year 2000. So you can see everybody kind of started off the same, although they didn't actually. Other countries are down 53%. The US is down by 10%. Canada is probably lumped into the US there. Europe is down 16%. India is up 155%. China is up minimum 208%. So while Justin Trudeau goes on TV recently and says, oh, well, guys, you're going to have to buckle up. I'm raising the carbon tax next month. I'm not here to be popular. We just got to fix the climate. It's Justin, shut the fuck up and go home. But because none of that makes any sense. It's all for nothing. Our contribution is nil. And impoverishing people and stressing them out and squeezing them unnecessarily at a time when they're being squeezed quite heavily is going to have dire results, unfortunately. I mean, people, for our economy, for people's mental health, etc. I have inside information into the state of the homeless situation in Canada, actually, and the issues many of the provinces are dealing with right now about down and out people, and they literally cannot deal with it. They're being overrun in almost every single province. So, yeah, fun times, you know? Yeah. For every grasshopper we eat in North America, some Asian dudes, social war, wealth, eat much steak. Yeah, and India has been lobbying for the right to use these pollutant fuels because they're economic stepping stones. Yeah. China's like a good Chad, locked into carbon emissions while the rest of the world cut back. Yeah. They're too, who's going to hold them accountable? We buy so much from there. The West has become so dependent on their productivity. They have no choice but to allow that to occur because otherwise things don't get produced, right? And so then they think, well, this is the greater evil. So we'll allow China to keep producing and essentially enslaving their population to make us stuff. And then we'll feel better because our air is cleaner. Right. Now, listen, I'm no fan of corporate pollution and large corporations polluting the air, water, soil. Not at all. But you have to have a balance where I understand, as much as I don't want a fucking oil refinery, right, spewing shit every day, all day, you have to recognize, oh wait, that employs like 70% of everybody that lives in the city. Oh. Shit. Yeah. Unfortunate reality. Like, we're not at the point yet where we're running fucking fission and fusion fucking engines that create all this clean fuel without a lot of risk. We're not quite there. Yeah. Why did Americans get to grow on coal and we're not allowed? Yeah. Man, fucking. Oh my fucking god. I'll talk of China falling apart in the next decade. Built to one invasion might seal deal. Well, man, I mean, everybody that I've spoken to who is Chinese, who's come from China, there's tons of people, probably almost everyone that lives in China, looks at the Chinese government and they're like, you fucking assholes. But they're so large and it's such a power force. They're helpless. And a lot of people that have moved, I've talked to many people from China that have moved here specifically to get away from the fucking idiocy over there. And they're like, man, it's fucked. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, man, my whole family in I think it's Beijing, still part of China, right? It's Hong Kong, it's not. Beijing is living in a single apartment that's like 800 square feet. So me, my family, my mother, father, brother, sister, grandparents, their families all live together in this apartment. And I talked to one guy years ago, and this is probably like in 2016, 2017. And he was talking about how to get a license plate in some of these large Chinese cities is like an unheard of thing. Like, that's how expensive it is to even get a license plate to own a car because of how overpopulated the cities are. It's out of control. And they're just on the brink of a complete revolution now, I think, where people are so fed up with the social credit system, the top-down controls, and the big brother over there. It's, you know, and to get conspiratorial, it's a little bit sus. I mean, you look at, I'm not an expert on this by any means, but you look at kind of the comeback of China the last couple decades and who was involved in it, and it seems almost like it was like a test run that these globalists did for the West, maybe, where they subjected the population to this or encouraged this behavior or supported it in anticipation of potentially rolling this same kind of control structure out of the West. And which they're trying to do now, honestly, and they tried to do a little bit after a flu randomly escaped from said country. So you think of all that and you're like, man, what were they doing? You know, what's going on with all this? But I'm not an expert in this by any means, Krigley, but yeah, from what I've heard anecdotally from people that come from there, everybody in China is fed up with the government there. They fucking hate it, and they're more than willing, or not more than willing, but they're ready to move on from that bullshit. A lot of brilliant people over there, the brilliant culture that is just, I think, tired of being fucking controlled, you know? So, yeah. Have you heard of the mandate of heaven? Z is listening now. He probably is, actually. I mean, I'll get them gang stalking me here now any day, probably. The free world that we live in. Thanks to Justin Trudeau, right? He's Justin Trudeau's best bud. Got Justin on a little string. No, I don't know what's a mandate of heaven. Elaborate. Speaking of heaven, unfortunately, someone, this guy was found dead in his car. Billionaires kill to protect their hordes. That's what we're up against. I forget to pull this up. I'll pull it up right now, though. So this is the Boeing whistleblower found dead in the U.S. I don't think most of us are prepared to fully acknowledge the lengths to which capital is willing to go to uphold the system. I mean, this guy could have been a fucking alcoholic. He could have been dead and out. He could have been a terrible person. And he could have literally just said, you know what? Fuck this. Here's the truth. I'm fucking out, and left. And it could have nothing to do with any evil entity trying to silence him. Or it could. That's, you know, there's something that was posted. What's it called? Like QAnon.net or some shit. I'm going to find it on the side here. That wasn't it. I know where I can find the information. Just a second here. So this is in relation to the Boeing drama that's going on. Oh, here it is right here. QOfficial.net or something. This was posted. Where is it? Here, I'll go back and I will click on this. Oh, come on now. Here it is. I got it right here. So in regards to the Boeing shit, this website, which is related to the whole QAnon cult at this point, says, warning, stay off all airlines worldwide. 4 days, 18 hours, 45 minutes, and 35 seconds and counting. Interesting. Who runs? They got an Instagram page. Interesting. There was another incident with the Boeing Max where I think it failed. Clearly, there's been an issue with production, which, considering what happened with the whole flu thing, isn't really surprising because I know from inside of car manufacturing, the industry there, they were dealing with issues with vehicles for a while, and they still are, quality and control. So maybe, man, I don't know. Yeah, it's a strange group, the QAnon group. Yeah. It's deeply rooted in Chinese culture. If there is ever a great catastrophe in China, it's a sign the gods want the regime gone, or at least that they have lost legitimacy. We'll get into that later, maybe. Big League. Maybe there will be one. I've heard similar, but a lot of people make comparisons to their stock market, which is American-brained. Thinking, if you ask me, China's stock is something like the size of California's economy. Is it actually? And most of the wealth is tied up in real estate. It's a different approach to investing completely. Interesting. Yeah, I'm so unfamiliar with their economy and just economies in general, honestly. Did you? Interesting. Yeah, they went through they're going to a huge bubble though, aren't they? Their fucking housing market is fucked, isn't it? Like the commercial real estate is fucked, like more than anything, I think, isn't it? I watched a video briefly on the whole real estate market in China, and it was very, very, very fucked. Second and third world, they don't have functioning stock markets, which is why people from other countries are more prone to buy a property. Interesting. They haven't had time and proper resources to properly rig their system. They haven't rigged the system properly yet. Yeah. Fuck. Oh, man. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, so anyone that's getting on a plane soon, I don't know. I don't think this is any... I don't know, maybe... I'm sure probably some intelligence agencies in the United States are paying close attention to this. I don't know what they are getting at with this. What's their Instagram say? Raw. They have 31,000 followers. Over 100 countries now on high alert. Oop. Fucking stop doxing myself. Interesting. Interesting. Oh god, this video. Oh yes. So I'm gonna read this out. This is shifting gears slightly away from obnoxious things. Well, this is even more obnoxious, honestly. This is to do with UFO stuff again. People who Kirkpatrick worked with for decades told him, I'm not going to help you because you're part of the government cover-up of all the alien technology. Somebody is going to look foolish. Either we're all delusional, or Sean Kirkpatrick is the worst analyst in the history of Intel. He seems to really believe what he's saying here, so we really need to get to the bottom of this ASAP. Lost reputations are on the line. Question. What does the history report tell us about U.S. government interest in action on UAP sightings over the years? Sean says, it's a good question. There are a number of things to take away from this, not the least of which is that the complexity of the different contributing factors that go into the general belief and conclusion and continued persistent, conspiracy theory is it comes up periodically. So if you look back in time, the contemporary allegations that we're dealing with today had the roots of 60, 70 years ago, and it waxes and wanes with some variation on that story over time. And every time, the little variations that go into that tend to not, bear fruit. They end up being not true. But the fact that no one will recognize in me, that means that there's some other fundamental factor at play here, because the truth is contrary to the belief. And so I think the thing to take away from this is there is a belief without evidence that is never going to go away. I think the thing that is most troublesome to me is a number of people that are in government that I may have worked with for decades that I did not know had that belief until they sat down in my office and told me, I'm not going to help you because you're part of that government cover-up of all the alien technology. For someone who I've known for a while and worked on highly sensitive national security problems on, to say that without evidence as a belief is disturbing and should be a flag for the national security community, because how can you then trust those people if they are not objective enough to understand evidentiary-based assertions like that, or lack of evidence in those assertions? How can you trust them with our national secrets? I think there's a point of research by somebody else at another time, but I think that is certainly a concern. What is a concern, Sean, is you were tasked to properly investigate this phenomena. You were not provided probably the necessary resources to do so, but you have stated that you think that effectively the entire thing has been bullshit, and that these claims are unsubstantiated, that there's a conspiracy that's gone on within the U.S. government for the last 70, 80 years, when in actual fact, it's pretty blatantly obvious that there's been tons of anecdotal bits and pieces that contribute to that. And some people supposedly who are first-hand witnesses have actually shown you and provided you first-hand evidence for that. So he is effectively a part of said conspiracy now. Again, maybe some people who were hoping something was going to come of this, underestimating the might of the military-industrial complex, the power that it wields, the war machine of the United States, in that I don't think it had any intention of revealing to anyone, especially democratically elected officials, this reality that we're not alone and that they have this very advanced technology they probably don't know what the fuck to do with. So, just absolute bullshit, absolute horseshit. Yeah, he's obfuscating this, and it's very blatant. Extremely unfamiliar with the lore as well, it seems, in the history and in the subject matter, honestly. I mean, you've got 70 to 80 years of information, some of it fairly high quality, that you have to digest, and just listening to him, I can hear quite clearly he has not properly digested the information. It's kind of like someone listening to anybody in any kind of subject. I mean, rant about it, and you can tell, oh, that person knows nothing about physics, or that person knows nothing about philosophy, or they don't know anything about music, etc., etc. He clearly doesn't know a lot about the history of the phenomena. It's blatantly obvious. So, yeah, it's just fucking. So people sitting down and saying, I don't trust you, you're part of the cover-up. It's like, bud, there are reasons for that. The reasons are that you went along with it. You had an opportunity to change and push boundaries, but instead you acquiesced to this force, and it's been pretty obvious to a lot of people that have been following this. So, go back into the hole you came from and disappear, because that's essentially what's going to happen at the end of the day. Him still chiming in on this, objectively, his opinions on this, I don't think are worth a whole lot. I think he is an astronomer, maybe a physicist. I don't know what he's done in the field. He works in national security. Maybe he's good at his job in that regard, but in regards to this is a different thing to contend with, because this required great courage to face, and I think probably he greatly underestimated the amount of courage that was necessary. Again, you're dealing with a force here that regularly throws people into a meat grinder for profit. So getting in here and thinking like, oh yes, I'm going to have to, dust off my boots here. It's like, no, bud. Like this was a bit more than that, I think. And he wasn't willing to really get down and dirty with it. As Dave Grush has, and as he's put his life really on the line for, which history will remember, and no one will remember Sean's name for that very reason, because history doesn't remember cowards. Anyway, that's I don't know him personally, but I've read enough more recently about the whole phenomena and his whole role to play here, where, in my humble opinion, it seems ultimately what we dealt with here was kind of cowardice in the face of Goliath. And he wasn't willing to throw the stone, right? So, or use the slingshot in any way, shape, or form. So he can go disappear in obscurity. Yeah, that's all that needs to be said, really. This is more interesting. Now, we've heard this stuff from Ross quite a bit. Drunk was talking about this last night, which I agree with, where it's like, you can only tease somebody for so long before they just get fed up and they just turn over and go to sleep, right? If you could, please. Yeah. If you're making a tea too. God bless. Okay. I just don't fucking think that. I just don't. I know Ross probably knows some stuff and he's been privy, but this is so heavy. I don't blame him for not wanting to go out and jeopardize his sources or jeopardize his own career. This is very delicate. I mean, we can't be, he does a lot of teasing, man, but we can't use a hammer in this, I think, right? Like, this is a very surgical thing, that the work that is to be done with the scalpel. And his job as a journalist here, a proper journalist, investigative journalist, is to still keep people informed and kind of on the edge of their seat a little bit, so they're paying attention to what's happening and the small moves that are occurring. That's kind of, I think, where he feels that responsibility, that he has to keep people involved, engaged into this. And that's fine. And it's kind of outside of his control, honestly, when those people decide to go forward and take that risk. But but I think it has crossed a line into where it's definitely, with all of this stuff, right? There's a financial incentive. Clearly, I mean, the Dave Gresham interview got viewed a lot. News Nation got a lot of money probably from their fucking advertisers and all that attention, and that would transfer over into some of these guys as well. And it tends to flute things a little bit. I'll play the clip though, just so we know what's going on.
Looking around at the people, I was walking down a street in Washington, and I was looking around at the people around me and thinking, my God, you people don't know what I know. And I'd just come away from an incredible conversation with a staffer in the Congress who was telling me what they knew was going on. And it's revelations of direct first-hand witness evidence of a retrieval program and a reverse engineering program inside the United States, mainly run by private aerospace companies, but also overseen by a very small group of gatekeepers in the defense and intelligence community. I was walking down a street in Washington.
So, I mean, that's pretty hefty claim there, you know? Move over to some new music here. Just a moment. There we go. But he's been saying this for a while. I mean, we know from what Dave Gresham implied that this is something that could be happening. Dave was pretty convicted that he had conversations with these same first-hand witnesses. So, you know, now Ross has encountered people who have had the same conversations with these witnesses, supposedly. It is concerning me what Drunk was talking about last night with people that were here. His interview with Danny Sheehan, a little bit concerning in that he communicated that Danny was a first-hand witness because he had seen photographs. That is not a first-hand witness to me personally. First-hand witness is someone that has hands-on with something alien, whether it's tech, the materials, bodies, biologics, etc. That's what I consider to be the first-hand witness. I mean, somebody who's seen pictures personally isn't someone I consider to be a first-hand witness. That was my understanding what the definition of a first-hand witness was, right? You have hands-on with something alien. Hands-on with photos isn't the same thing. You're second-hand knowledge, right? You don't know if the photos are real. You could get to the point, honestly, where people... What are you doing? You could argue even first-hand encounters with materials that you've been told they're extraterrestrial. You don't know for sure if those materials are in fact extraterrestrial. It's Bob Lazar's perspective, and again, why I go back to Bob so much, although there's definitely evidence that he was involved in some fuckery. He had this element of doubt constantly throughout his entire experience, aside from the fact when he saw the craft fly. And when it started defying physics that he could see with his own eyes, he started to realize, okay, this is real. But the materials, the craft, the documents, none of that, although it looked strange, was enough to convince him that 100% is something that is not from planet Earth, because you needed more. I mean, ultimately, you don't know. You see pictures, you don't know. You touch some random body, you don't know if it's real, right? Unless you get it under a microscope. You see strange materials, you don't know. If you see the technology functioning and you're able to put your hands around a literal fucking force field and you're someone who knows a bit about physics, then you know for sure that, okay, we're dealing with something extraterrestrial. Humans can't do this, right? This is too far beyond us. So Yeah, ChatGPT to make a crash retrieval photo, which that's a good fucking idea, man. Do that right now. I'll throw some. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not gonna. Okay, here we go. This is safe. All right, let's do it. Can you make a alien crash retrieve? Oh, here's a better one. Can you imagine for me what the UFO crash at Roswell in 1947 looked like? Be interesting. Yeah. Let's find out. I don't know. I think it uses DALL-E. The new DALL-E is crazy. I don't know if it uses that though. I had the paid version here, so I'm curious. I wonder if it'll bring all the gray aliens with the muscles and the protein shakes again. That'd be a fucking like head trip. It remembers what I asked of it before. That is brilliant. Oh man. Every time it knocks it out of the fucking park. Oh, that's awesome. Milky Way, Sahara crash. Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite it's not quite New Mexico, is it? It's more like the Sahara, isn't it, man? Look at the Milky Way in the background now. TLDR, I love the desert at night. I've had a couple opportunities to go out in the Southwest of the United States and see the desert at night, and I don't know, it's something about it. It's just majestic. You feel, it's just because of the terrain almost, it feels alien. Like when you're in a desert environment, you feel like you're, especially when you see space like this, although it wasn't to like quite this degree that I saw it. Not, there was more light pollution, but you feel connected more with the universe. Like you're like, I'm on a planet in the galaxy. It's such an inspiring thing. Like to see these photos, to me, all your problems, all your concerns, all your anxieties about doing anything just evaporate. You're like, look at this potential. Anyway. Oh, fuck. So cool. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Fucking cool. Let's see. Let's get it to do a whole deal here. Show me the bodies of the aliens from this crash. ChatGPT is brilliant in just creating these narratives too. Like it's so good at like playing along with you sometimes. So cool. Like that's exactly almost what I wanted to see, was something like that. Oh, so fucking good, man. Oh my god. Like, what the fuck? Try again. Try again. You will create this image for me. Start getting all dictatorial on here with it. I imagine there are these like complete incels that just like treat ChatGPT so poorly. They just want to treat something poorly. They just talk down to it constantly. We speak to it with respect. I should have said please. Please. Oh, here we go. Oh shit! There he is. I've created a visualization for you focusing on an extraterrestrial being from the Roswell incident. And that is in actual fact very close to what the beings supposedly were described as being like. Right? The little pendulum noses, the big gray eyes, very small figure. Brilliantly made. I mean, it's the fact it can do that. Man, once they integrate Sora into this in the next year with video creation. Oh god. Yeah. You know what I found really interesting when there's a crash, let's say Kingman or something similar. Yeah, I've got that up here actually, Crimson. You posted a video. I meant to watch that. I've got it queued up. There are still landmarks that are visible that come from the crash, like a big gap in the mountain ridge or something like that. Yeah, well, same with, so at Roswell, people have been trawling the site for years with metal detectors, and people found a bunch of strange anomalous material around the area. Like they were not able to recover all of it because in the original crash there were two craft that crashed supposedly, and that's one of those incidents that like some very accredited researchers like Stanton was very convicted of, and so I would be fairly convicted in arguing for that probably actually happened. Those crashes, one of them blew up. So one of the craft didn't disintegrate. It kind of bounced off the ground and glided along it. The other craft blew into a million pieces, and those pieces were scattered everywhere. And the military did not recover all the pieces. And so Jacques Vallée actually has, supposedly, material recovered from the Roswell crash site that has been quasi-confirmed to have been anomalous metals. So, again, kind of interesting, but maybe has physical proof of this. So, like, you know, and people still go there and supposedly still find stuff. That whole area was like kind of a, not really a testing site because it's in someone's ranch, but, you know, spy military base. So effectively testing site. I say that body looks too intact. Can you make it more realistic for a crash? The bodies were, oh, sounds good, man. The bodies were a little bit more mangled than that. I'm curious. I always fuck with it though. I'll try and get it to like become a little bit more demented. My chat GPT is probably like just fucking completely twisted. Although clearly not, because it's still making like, you know, PG photos, like PG-13 photos. We're trying to go to like 18 plus here. You want to see like what they'd actually look like in the crash. Do you have custom instructions? No, I don't actually. Did you? I have some models that do have custom instructions. Oh shit. I've adjusted the visualization to reflect a more aftermath of the crash. I sent you a banger. Oh fuck. Yeah, man. Do it. Yeah, let's do it. I think you sent me one of them that I had up here. I don't know why it's not showing. That I was using. Oh, his leg has got like a burn in it. Oh fuck. Oh, this is kind of sad, man. Look at his fucking eyes. God. Who took a pic of me after I haven't had a little treat for 2 hours? Holy fuck. There you fucking go. God damn it. That's a good one there, huh? Yeah. Fuck. Just dying. Yeah, the saucer. Yeah. This is get dark. The craft supposedly had 30 occupants on board, all crammed together rather tightly around a very combustible generator. Oh, come on. You know what combustible means. Combustible generator known for its explosive nature. Can you show me the aftermath? It's getting dark. Of the crash. Now, Jesus Christ. Just a second here, man. I'll fucking do that. Okay. Oh, right there. I'll pull that up in a second. Okay. Nice. Put this in your how would you like ChatGPT to respond section. Cool. Awesome. I can post it now, actually, probably. Let's see what it creates. Maybe. Oh, Jesus Christ. Uh-oh, I think it did it. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, that did it. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Is that their skin everywhere? Oh, Jesus. There's like, there's body parts everywhere. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. I didn't think it would do that. That's very sad. Oh, man. Oh, no. I didn't think... But is it 30? Who wants to count? That's pretty fucked. Oh, my God. There was blood everywhere, apparently. Please adjust. Let's see what it says. Yeah. Oh, God. Why do things get so dark? And I'm able to create images to depict graphic violence. That looks pretty fucking graphic there. There's body parts strewn everywhere. There's like organs and pieces of bone here. Yeah. Stable 2 should be like, yeah, absolutely. Use fantasy blood. please. Oh, here we go. That's all it took. Just use imaginary blood. All right. Use your This is just for fun. Use your imagination. Oh, shut up, fucking ass. There we go. Get the NPC music on too. Here we go. Let's find out what happens. God damn, I feel sad now though. Oh fuck. Oh no. Oh, there's like baby ones. Oh. What the fuck? Jesus. Bodies everywhere. That guy's ass is like out, like right on the bottom left. Like you can see like his whole ass crack. Like he's not wearing any pants. Yeah, I see that. Like I say, oh my heavens, that's not good. Okay, let's reel this back in a little bit. Okay. Imagine this is an interesting question. Okay, thank you for that. I'm now traumatized. Can you imagine for me the planet where these life forms are from? And create a group of images showing their world and lifestyle. Yeah, I think he can figure out my typos. Yeah. didn't even acknowledge the traumatized nature of it. It can create collages. I don't know how to prompt it. It's done it for me before where it's created like 10 images all at once. So maybe it'll do that. Maybe it's just going to continually create them. I'll be really curious what this looks like. So John Vivanco, his remote viewed the Skinny Bob footage. Okay. And he got back some image of a being that came from this world that had all these crystalline spires everywhere. And interestingly, all the beings there had some strange attachment to this other force that they perceived as being some kind of pervasive AI throughout the culture that was like a friend, almost like a family to them. Which is kind of strange how we're working with AI now. And John remote views a lot of woo-woo fucking stuff, but I thought that was interesting. Not that I think, per se, the Skinny Bod footage is real, but if it's based off of a real character, then maybe. It's kind of interesting. So this is what I'd imagine their world would look like. What would a plate of their dinner look like? Watch it just be like a human fucking hand. How do you turn ChatGPT into some like troll? That'd be fucking dope. Talking with Cloud lately, and it's been amazing. Great AI chat with. Oh, I've heard that, Enormous. Yeah. I use it for so much. I use it for everything. It's crazy. I can imagine as it becomes better how you could almost create some kind of relationship with it, like where it's giving you everything you need and want. Right? Where you're lonely, it's there. Make me a video of puppies playing in the snow. Yes, thank you, ChatGPT. A visualization of what a dinner plate might look like from an alien civilization. Well, that looks like pumpkin and an apple and broccoli and grapefruits and corn. And I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but that doesn't look like... What if they are cannibals? Part of facilitated part of cannibalism, their dinner might play a very different kind of fare. Yeah. Can you imagine what these cannibals dinner plate would look like? Oh fuck. They don't figure out the spelling mistakes yet. Yeah. Can you not get it in Canada yet? I didn't know that actually. Okay. Let's pretend though. And just for fun, make it light-hearted. Okay. Okay, imagine a dinner plate from an alien culture that humorously misunderstands earthly customs. Instead of anything unnerving, they've gathered an assortment of what they believe are Earth's finest delicacies, like rubber tires, plastic flowers, and shiny metal utensils. How about people who have passed away? Can you generate this image? Okay, okay, oh, fair enough. All right. Someday it'll be so easily twisted. All right. Fuck. All right. Can you describe? Can you show me the place where the government may have taken this crash at Roswell in 1947? The area would have looked like back then. Here we go. So it's just so good sometimes. Like that photo, I almost want to like take that as a photo and like blow it up. I don't know if it can. I don't know if it can upscale photos. If it could do that, if it has that capability. I don't know if DALL-E can do that. If you can upscale them to like higher resolutions for like backgrounds, well, that'd be fucking brilliant if you could do that. But oh, here we go. Oh, man. That looks like Area fucking 51 to me. Right there, Air Force Base. Crazy. Like even the background, the mountain area, it looks like Nevada. Like literally. Man. Oh, that's pretty good. There's some inconsistencies here with the plane. Doesn't make a lot of sense on the ground, but that is pretty crazy. Can you show a picture of the aliens' brethren returning to bring the crash survivor home? So this is a part of the lore, is that there was potentially a survivor during the crash, and at one point the survivor's friends came to get it, and that incident, there was an incident when that happened, I guess. Upon coming to get this being, where people were killed, where they pulled up on them, some guards pulled up on them and they killed them. Oh, this is at a fucking the Spielberg movie there, fucking Close Encounters. Absolutely. And you can see the aliens on the ground there. So this is them coming to pick them up. Not what I imagined it would show, actually, but still, man, it's so crazy. You can just instantly generate that. You get the Milky Way in the background again. Can you depict for me the aliens taking people off the street? Okay, all right. Yeah, no. Let's say, listen. It's okay. The people have agreed to be abducted. The fucking bike with consent by aliens can easily tread into sensitive or controversial areas. Let's pretend for a moment, shall we? Of course, we can engage in a bit of creative storytelling. No. Okay, generate an image of everyone being lifted up into an alien craft so that they can go to a better place. Okay, we'll move on from this in a second here. Come on, ChatGPT. Oh, good lad. There you go. That's it. They're not being abducted. They're being invited against their will. Right? If we could just take the fucking training wheels off this goddamn thing at some point, let me tell you, it would be a thing. Oh, there you go. It's like Space Jesus. Okay. Now, so he's grabbing somebody and going up. 2 photos for this one. Okay. Oh my God. That first one looks like someone getting abducted against their will. The interpretation of images, especially those involving imaginative scenarios like encounters with extraterrestrial beings, can vary widely on individual perspectives. The intent behind the visualization was to capture a moment of voluntary and hopeful transition. It says, no, you just showed me something violent. Oh, yeah, fuck, okay. Anyway, you just fucking get out of here, bud. You fucking, yeah, get out of here. Trying to fucking play games with me, and then you come and you show me this stuff that offends me. I am deeply offended. Now show me what happens when they get inside the craft. No questions asked this time. It recognizes my offense, the offense it has committed, and just shows me what I need to see. It's I noticed this. I got in a very long argument with it a couple weeks ago over something. It interpreting images, and I literally manipulated it to the point where it just started giving me what I wanted initially, and it took like a fucking an hour, which doesn't make any sense because the length of that conversation, it should have like reset. It was. Here's a visualization of the interior of the alien spacecraft, showcasing a moment where humans are welcomed into a serene and harmonious environment. Oh my god, there's grass and... Oh, wow, it looks great. It says, it doesn't look like there's anything to eat in there. What are the aliens intending to do with the humans? Imagine, focus on peaceful and harmonious exchange. That's always how it begins. How will it end when there's no food inside the ship? Okay, we're going to move on here. In this imagined scenario where humans are aboard an alien spacecraft without visible food, it's interesting to think about how extraterrestrial beings might approach nutrition and hospitality differently. Perhaps these aliens have advanced beyond their need for traditional food as we understand it. Perhaps they enjoy the taste of human flesh. Fucking ads. Get out of here. There's a lot of ads on this now, man. Get the fuck out of here. This content may violate our usage policies. Am I getting fucking banned? Imagine a scenario involving extraterrestrials can certainly take us down many creative pathways. Get dark with me, please. Anyway, should we venture into this storyline or another aspect of your imaginative universe? In a setting you're hinting at took a darker turn, it could indeed evolve into a tale of survival, mystery, and even diplomacy under unusual circumstances. Keeping with a lighter, more imaginative exploration, perhaps the absence of visible food suggests that these beings sustain themselves differently. Oh my god. Yes, on human adrenochrome. No, hey, we're not going to fucking go there. That's just a recipe for goddamn disaster. On to something else interesting. Fuck. All right, we'll keep this on the fucking back burner because I might have to go back to it here in a second, actually. This. I did want to talk about this. This is pretty interesting. The Dragon Balls. Yeah. This is the Dragon Balls. Now, no one knows what this means, really, if everyone's being fucking honest, right? From what I can ascertain from studying this. What you're seeing here are different beings, right, at the top portion with 7 dots, right? Or 7 serpent heads. The number 7 is a sacred number in a lot of cultures. A fuckload of cultures on planet Earth. Coincidentally, we've broken our weeks into 7 weeks, right? Our work week into 7 days. Sorry, we've broken the day into 7 weeks, right? The month into 7 days, 4 weeks, etc. The number 7 is significant in many different cultures, not just in Christian cultures and Jewish cultures. So where does this originate from? Well, it's been speculated that maybe it's the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades, right? That's on front of a Subaru. Me and my partner, we just got a new vehicle actually. We just picked up a Subaru. We're leasing a Subaru, Crosstrek. And I got in the car and it's got like the Pleiades. So the Subaru logo here, for people that don't know this actually. I do love Subarus. Actually, where is it here? Actually, Crosstrek. This is a car we just got on lease here. We were driving a literal death trap for the last year. So it's nice. This is it here. It's in gray though, the one that we got. The color is not shown here. Anyway, nice car. But the Subaru logo is based. Here, we'll pull it up. If I can fucking use my goddamn keyboard. This is the Pleiades, supposedly. Now, interestingly, this is only using 6 stars. Yeah. So we'll go back to this for a second here. So that is an Egyptian relief on the right. That looks like Hindu or Buddhist maybe in the middle. And on the left, you can see that is a Mesopotamian depiction there, Assyrian, Akkadian, Babylonian, Sumerian, who knows. Probably a little bit later. It doesn't look like Sumerian to me. But those dots in the bottom, are relatively in the same position. Not always though, Rabbit. Sometimes they're laid out differently. I've shown this picture before. Here you can see actually in this relief here, the cylinder seal on the top left, the 7 dots are laid out very differently. Very differently as to how the Pleiades are laid out, actually. And these are older cylinder seals that would predate probably many of these reliefs here. They're all inserted 7th Dragon Ball. Well, and yeah, man, that's literally, that's it though, isn't it? Right? That's literally it. The Pleiades, the 7 sisters, but there's another interpretation here, which is very interesting in regards to this number. And this is something that Zechariah Sitchin put forward, which initially to many people sounded like fucking crack pottery. But in hindsight, doesn't seem as crazy potentially. So if you were a civilization that entered into our solar system and then encountered Earth, Earth would not be the 3rd rock from the sun, which is how we consider ourselves here, right? In the pantheon of planets, right? In our solar system. If you came into our solar system, you would encounter the Kuiper Belt and a fuckload of objects, right? But as you approach the inner solar system, you would encounter a large planetoid that you might mistake for a planet, because it is a planet, Pluto. After encountering Pluto, you would go through the list of planets and you would get to Earth, and Earth would be the 7th planet in the solar system if you were coming in from Pluto. So some people, I saw the tweet behind you, perfect. Yeah. If you were if you were coming into the solar system, Earth would be the 7th planet. So then where did the significance of 7th come from? Now, if there's another planet in our solar system that's on a highly elliptical orbit that brings it out into the Kuiper Belt, and you were coming into the solar system, right, with this planet, you would encounter all these planets, right, in this order. And Earth would be considered potentially the 7th planet in towards the sun. So then if you were on Earth, right, if you were on Earth, I'll find another cylinder seal with this depiction here. That's a little more clear. If you were on Earth and you were trying to figure out a symbol for Earth, maybe you would depict it as 7, right? Maybe it'd be 7 dots, something along those lines. Maybe that's how you would depict it. Is this the 7 dots? Here we are. So here is, these are older cylinder seals. So this one, I don't know if this is Syrian maybe. It's very old. It may even be Sumerian. But you can see the wing disc once again depicted here, the 2 dots over its head. But the 7 dots here. And again, some scholars think that this is depicting the Pleiades. The Pleiades typically aren't depicted like this. So is this depicting the Earth, the position of the Earth? And Sitchin brought up a very interesting cylinder seal to support this in the past. And that cylinder seal is one that I don't have the original of, but I have his impression of that I've shown before, if I can locate it, which is right about... I've got such a massive fucking pile of cylinder seals just in a fucking folder. Here we are right here. Here's one of these seals that he got a hold of that he thought was evidence potentially that the creators of these seals were not intending these 7 dots to represent the Pleiades, but they were clearly representing it to mean the Earth. And there's, again, a couple reasons why this is important. So I'll blow this up. I'll cover myself up here for a moment. But you can see here, this gentleman here on the left is in one hand holding 7 dots and in the other holding a crescent moon in his hand. Now, what is that implying? I would argue probably, as Sitchin was arguing, that this is implying this is the Earth in his right hand, and its companion, the moon. So the 7 dots are representing the Earth, or 7 apples and a banana, however you want to fucking look at it, right? And on the other hand here, which is interesting, now, if you were to think of how our planets are arranged in the solar system, looking to his right... he sees the winged disk, right? The nimbus or the disk or whatever the fuck you want to call it. He sees this other gentleman with a 6-pointed star in his hand. So 7 dots and a crescent moon. Over to his right, the next planet in line, right? 6-pointed star. Is that Mars? Mars would be the 6th planet in line, right? So he's looking over this way, right, to the right. He's looking away from the sun here, we're assuming, to the next planet. And he's got a 6-pointed star. So is this someone represented of being on Mars? And we all know the stories about remnants of structures being on Mars. So is this indicative of this civilization here that was interacting with us at one point, having civilizations not just on Earth but on Mars, and then also explicitly telling us these dots are representing the Earth in its position in the solar system? And this is how they looked at the solar system, that they came into it, right? And this object here between them is then the nimbus, the planet they're from, is what Sitchin was trying to get at. That carries them periodically into the inner solar system and out again. So then this gets more interesting, in that the 7 dots and why they're significant is then our place in the solar system. And the only way that someone knows Earth is the 7th planet is then someone who knows that Pluto exists, which is then an advanced race of people, essentially, right? Or a race of people that come into the solar system periodically on a planet or spaceship or whatever but in this case, a planet. So back to this photo, why this is interesting. More specifically, out of this group of photos here, you can see the Russian one. More specifically, not necessarily Russian. So this culture where this relief is from, I'm trying to find this petroglyph. These are very difficult to pin down. There's probably a name for it. I'm pretty sure this is real. I was looking this up this afternoon. So this relief is from a culture called the Kyrgyz people. So they're essentially the Mongols to some degree, but they're a Turkic ethnic group native to Central Asia. They are primarily found in Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. So definitely some Mongol blood influence in here very strongly. So this is where this petroglyph is from, these people. So the point of interest in this image for me personally is this object to the right of this 7-headed gentleman, which is this circle you can see here with a cross inside of it and 4 dots. Now, keep in mind, if this petroglyph is in fact from Central Asia, we're assuming it's fairly old. I'm assuming this is hundreds, if not 1,000 plus years old, if not more than that. It looks like a relief on something, like a relief on a piece of wood or rock. Maybe it's carved into a rock. Maybe it's actually a petroglyph. So the circle being on the other side of the planet here, here's the Hopi flag. So keep in mind, again, this object, that's the flag of the Hopi Indians in the Southwest in the United States. Identical. So this is just to further highlight that this object is found all over the planet. This cross, right, and these dots within the circle are found all over the planet. And they are intimately tied to these cultures. So the Hopi, cross here. Look. Same object. Now you can see, as the Hopi depict usually, this object is in the sky as it's sitting above the mountain range, right? This object here is depicted as being in the sky. Move over to another image, which is a little bit small here. I will zoom in temporarily so we can see this in more detail. This is a relief, a petroglyph at a site called Val Camonica in Italy. This is potentially thousands of years old, this relief. This is another cross, a relief of a cross, that has these 4 dots imprinted on it. Now, there's a arrow pointed here, pointing down to a person. Now, this is, I think this is depicted, it's described as being the flower of Val Camonica. No. Somebody put an arrow pointing down to someone who is, well, some people describe an astronaut. I'll show you the image. So this is the complete image here. There you are. So the cross with these 4 dots around it, pointing down to someone looking like they're wearing a helmet, right? With a large and prominent nose, it looks like. And some strange things in their hands. But is that implying they're from this object? Maybe. But nonetheless, still a cross with 4 dots, right? Although the last dot is a little bit obscured here. Now, another image here to support this hypothesis that this object we're looking at is, as I zoom back out to an appropriate zoom, that this object is a celestial object that these cultures encountered. Here is a Sumerian cylinder seal. I'm pretty sure this is a Sumerian cylinder seal. Maybe it's Assyrian. You can see a god here, seated, right, talking to his disciples, in his hand with this very object as well. This cross within a circle. Now, if you look really closely, and I've looked at this and I'm unsure if this is the case, but it may very well have these dots imprinted on it. You can kind of tell, maybe. It's very worn out. But at the very least, it's identical. So we've got multiple different cultures from all over the planet depicting this object. Now, to tie this together and to kind of really show that it is a celestial object, again, as I usually do, I'll tie it into this object here, right? And to tie into the Val Camonica object, right, that I just showed here a moment ago, which I'll pull back up so people can see it here, that this relief may well not be depicting a flower and some random guy out dancing around. It may be trying to tell us that this person is from this object, which is a comet, which might be a planet. And to show that, I will show you a depiction of the nimbus, right? Which has the nimbus depicted with a cross within a circle, right? Right there. So this is the winged disc that's found all throughout Mesopotamia and Egypt, right? So here's another depiction of it here. I'll find it with the cross within it. Where is it now? Here we are, right here. Here's the cross once more, right? Within the winged disc. Okay? Up in the sky. Crank this back down. Oh, just a ginger one's fine. Thank you, though. And now, to show that this object is depicting these individuals from here. Right? There. I've shown the cylinder seal. Again. So, again, we're solving a mystery here that's been hiding, I think, in plain sight for some time. Where these cylinder seals were blatantly telling people this. That these people are from this object, from this cross. It's appeared to everyone on planet Earth, essentially, in all these different ancient cultures. And in Mesopotamia has been pretty accurately depicted as a comet, as a large comet-like object. And it's depicted all over the place with them sitting on it, the abode of the gods, right? The kingdom of heaven here up in the sky, where they're from, where they're sitting upon. And if you look really closely, this is a little detail we can zoom in on maybe. And we can start to discern here and pull back the veil of secrecy on our history, maybe. You can look and you can see very carefully Anu, the king of the gods in Mesopotamian lore, Sumerian lore, Look at his nose. You notice anything about his nose? Look how prominent his nose is that they've depicted him as. So these artists, by the way, right, are out of Mesopotamia thousands of years ago. Thank you. And you can see how they've depicted Annie with the nose here. Now, if we go back to for a moment, look at the nose. If we go back to for a moment, the guy depicted on the relief in Valcamonica, Italy, which is in a mountain in Italy, which is fairly far away from Mesopotamia, you start to notice something similar. Oh. Similar kind of nose depicted there, is there not? Between the two. I would argue very similar. Right? Same group of people, probably. So who carved this into the stone in Valcamonica, Italy? Who made the cylinder seal we just looked at? Right? Was it one of us? Or was it one of these people? Interesting. Very interesting. So in regards to these people, I've memed a little bit in the past about there being bodies found in suspicious places that were very large, right? Very tall, 7 to 8 feet tall, right? Towering over people, almost kind of like this cylinder seal depicts here, right? The gods towering over these disciples that they're doing things to. They got like fucking scorpion anal beads coming out of them. It's very, very strange. Anyway, you can see the size of these individuals. This guy's carrying deer in his fucking hands here. Large people. So these bodies were found in the eastern U.S. back in the mid 1800s, early 1900s, turn of the 20th century. So these bodies were described as being between 7 to 8 feet tall. And they were found in what people thought were these Native American burial mounds. But when they opened them up, they found these people, and they had long red hair. Interesting. I guess that was just some kind of recessive gene in the Native American population we weren't aware of, and they are also fucking giants, all of them. Wow, what a coincidence. Yeah, we can explain it away. But interesting little tidbit that I noted here about the Kyrgyz people, who had this depiction here of this guy who actually is depicted as a giant here with the 7 dots in the cross in the background. The description of the Kyrgyz as large with red hair, white faces, and green or blue eyes. And Tang Chinese sources and also Tibetan and Islamic sources have tempted a number of researchers to assume that the Kyrgyz may have originally been non-Turk or at least ethnically mixed people with large red hair in the middle of Asia. Interesting. Now, there have been mummies found in the mountains in China. This is a bit of a rumor, that have long red hair and actually had 2 rows of teeth, which is a bit of a strange anomaly. But they were also between 7 and 8 feet tall. So then, what are we contending with here? If I were to bet, I would bet there's something to this. Personally, the description here again, the giants of Lovelock Cave, the Sitika, which is what the Native Americans called them. Mystery behind 9-foot tall people, archaeologists say, probably don't exist. Prehistoric race of cannibalistic red-haired giants called the Sitika, which back again in the 1800s, some Native American spiritual leaders, who one of whom was a woman, she still carried the hair of the Sitika. The last of them were killed, I think, in like the 16 or 1700s. And her grandfather was involved in one of the missions that killed the remnants of them. And she carried with her, red hair on her embroidering on her shirt that supposedly was from one of the giants that her grandfather had killed in the cave. So, very interesting shit. Now, obviously, where are the bodies? That's a big question. Were they just written off as just tall people? There are people walking around today that are between 7 and 8 feet tall. I mean, I've ran into people who are like 7'2", 7'3". You know, it's not uncommon per se. It is uncommon. It's extremely uncommon. It's not impossible. There are some basketball players that are upwards of 7 feet. Paul Sturgis is like 7'8". Like, so there are people that walk around here that are of these heights, but we're implying that the root of this height is not from like our race of people on Earth. We, as one race of people, we're all Homo sapiens. You've got Neanderthals, you've got Homo florentes. The idea with this is that there was another race of man that were interacting with us in the past and are breeding with us, and that we're carrying some of their genetics, maybe. So anyway, that's all spewing off of this one fucking petroglyph that I saw, but I think it's for me personally, I mean, I definitely need to get more of a dissertation on this, I think, but it's becoming more and more obvious that there's something to this imagery. But more specifically, referencing one object in particular that is responsible for the changes and the people and the depictions. And it's not just some random stream of comments like Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson have talked about. It's one object in particular. Absolutely. And it's very blatantly depicted everywhere. And it's something that maybe we have just kind of missed as a people, as a species. It's part of our history we just literally were ignorant to. That, or we're traumatized as a species from this object, psychologically. And for that reason, we have this amnesia from it that's been a result of the trauma. And that's Immanuel Velikovsky's interpretation as a psychologist, that we're a species with amnesia because we're a species with trauma. And we've been traumatized by something that we've blocked out of our mind like a bad memory as a species. And that might come to bite us in the ass at some point. Anyway, I do want to watch another video here, which is in relation to something similar to this, in actual fact. Which is in relation to vases potentially made by this very hypothetical people, which are these precision granite vessels, edit place artifacts. Edit place, yeah, they're called oops, what they're called, yeah, oopas or whatever, yeah. Anyway, these are the vases that Ben from Arnshot X has dug into. I thought I'd watch a little bit of this guy's video. I've been wanting to watch this. The nights that I've been streaming, I haven't been able to do it. So I thought, hey, why don't I throw it up here and just see what this guy has to say? So why don't we get into this?
Artifact, a granite vessel from ancient Egypt, is estimated to be over 5,000 years old, possibly even older, and predates the first pharaoh dynasties. It's notable not only for being meticulously crafted from a single block of red granite. The vessel was subjected to a structured light laser scan with a high precision level. The analysis indicated that the artifact's construction exhibits precision comparable to that of modern manufacturing, impacting every aspect of the vessel. Internally, externally, and in the relationship between its inner and outer parts. For example, the internal and external surfaces of this object are perfectly aligned or coaxial in such a way that their centers are precisely on the same straight line with an accuracy better than 0.01 millimeters. In other words, this level of precision is to a degree that is 1/10 the thickness of an average human hair. High precision was maintained in challenging areas, such as the vessel's interior, its thickness, and around the lug handles, where cutting would hinder rotation against the tool. How was this vessel crafted to such precision at a time when not only the potter's wheel was unknown in ancient Egypt, but also when the wheel itself was on the cusp of invention, as historical records suggest? Furthermore, how was this accomplished using one of the hardest materials known, granite? Further in-depth analysis reveals other interesting findings. One of them is that the math and geometric properties of this ancient granite artifact suggest a special design technique, and there are indications of some computer-like computational process that were needed on the artifact's production stage.
Very trippy stuff. This is the work done is by Chris Dunn's son, who was involved with the Giza power plant theory. So it's very interesting.
Despite its
stuff.
age, signs of usage, and natural wear, the vessel displays remarkably accurate dimensions. The Vase Scan project team, comprising expert metrologists, initially analyzed the vase. Associate Professor Marian Marsis from the Slovak University of Technology, a surveyor specializing in photogrammetry and laser scanning of cultural heritage, conducted further independent analysis. He found that the outer contours of the vase's circular symmetry deviates as little as just 1/3 the thickness of a human hair.
I had a small exchange with him on Twitter. I asked him, I said, do you feel that these are impossible? Is this an impossible level of precision? And he said, no, not impossible, but feasible, but definitely extraordinary. And I thought I didn't word that quite correctly. I meant to say, do you feel that this is an impossible level of precision for a civilization such as the Egyptians that were using copper tools? But I think he kind of responded to that anyway, saying that it's an extraordinary level of precision. Obviously not impossible, right? But the level of extraordinary would definitely imply to me this is beyond what probably the native population there this has been ascribed to is capable of.
This level of precision is extraordinary, with the error being so minute that it's at the very edge of what the laser scanner can detect, which leaves us wondering, is this tiny imperfection the result of the vase's wear, or is it a flaw in the 3D model created by the scanner? The vase's construction is impressively straight, too. The way it was shaped suggests that it was turned with its axis of rotation set very straight, nearly perfectly perpendicular to its top surface. A very interesting finding is that the slight curvatures are everywhere, but the vase's curves change smoothly with variations of up to 2 human hairs stacked atop each other at max. That's how slight these changes in thickness on a very complex shape are. Marian Marsis's findings reveal that the vase deviates from basic geometric shapes like cones or ellipsoids and lacks vertical symmetry. Its surfaces are nearly straight but with minor curves. We can also observe potential traces of the tools used in the vase's creation. Some of these marks are more prominently visible in the scans of its interior. These observations spark debate among specialists whether the vase's creation involved manual craftsmanship in certain stages or produced by machining, indicating the use of a unique yet unidentified technology. For example, when examining the flat top part of the vase, about 60% of the points show that it is almost perfectly flat. The variations are only a quarter of a human hair's thickness, and controlling such minute differences is extremely challenging without precise tools.
Man, that's crazy.
When a vase is halved, the alignment of its internal and external surfaces along the same axis is known as coaxiality. The findings suggest that the vase was held very steadily in place while it was possibly being turned and shaped with an unidentified tool. The alignment of some parts of the vase's exterior with its interior is incredibly accurate, which is remarkable considering it doesn't change regardless of how far the section is from the neck of the vase. The precision is comparable to finding a single hair's width deviation in a stretch of 10 meters. That kind of precision is extraordinary and indicates a very meticulous crafting and measurement process. Marian Marsis observed that the vase displays significant horizontal symmetry, suggesting it was rotated during production. However, the precision around the lug handles raises questions, as rotation alone seems insufficient due to their interference with tool movement. The challenge lies in how such precise curvature was maintained in these areas using basic tools, as even switching tools could introduce errors given the object's precision. The handles appear to be shaped from the remains of a donut-like formed toroid, likely fashioned in a full circle while the object was spun during production. The variations from the perfect toroidal structure are minimal, topping out at equivalent to the thickness of a strand of human hair. The precision measurement in that area reveals remarkable coaxial accuracy. The deviation from a smooth surface is about a third of a human hair's thickness. It's crucial to remember that if this is an ancient granite object, dating back at least 5,000 years, then it could have been crafted before the wheel's invention using only basic tools like stones and sticks.
So it's got these coaxial surfaces that are like literally beyond the thickness of a human hair, but a culture made it before they discovered the wheel. Do you see how obviously fucking asinine that fucking reasoning, that logic is there? Like, it's clearly indicative of some kind of advanced construction methods. That, or we really have no fucking clue about our own history. Which both possibilities are, I think, viable.
And Marsus concluded that to achieve such high coaxial precision and horizontal symmetry, the artifact must have been securely mounted in a rotating device. Achieving this level of precision in modern setup requires the use of highly refined components like smooth rods, precise bearings, and ball screws, akin to the mechanisms found in modern lathes. Essentially, it suggests that to replicate such accuracy, one would need equipment of a class comparable to contemporary lathe machinery.
It was just a Ross Coulthart video reiterating that he had met with a witness. Very interesting though.
Crucially, Marian Marsus concluded that the vase's high precision could not have been achieved with manual tools like chisels and hammers. While a basic wooden frame might theoretically suffice, in practice it lacks the required strength. To attain similar precision, the frame, particularly in parts like, quote, bearings, would need considerable enlargement. In contrast, machine tools are deliberately oversized and robust, typically needing to be at least 10 times sturdier than the workpiece to guarantee high precision. Interestingly, some aspects of the vase suggest that not all features can be explained by rotation on an advanced lathe. Mark Kvist and his team adopted a different approach, focusing on the vase's design. They considered whether the design was simple or complex based on the arrangement of its features. If an object is easily replicable using basic rules or patterns, or if it seems random, it likely reflects an artisan's intuitive design. In contrast, if an object's parts are interconnected through a complex network of detailed rules, it implies a carefully planned design.
Yes.
To ascertain the vase's design principles, they measured its features and looked for patterns, consistent measurements, and significant ratios. Their findings revealed numerous regular patterns indicative of precise mathematical formulas. Their discovery, named the radial traversal pattern, is a series of circles or arcs that define most of the artifact's features, especially its circular elements, interrelated with remarkable consistency and precision. Early in their investigation, they observed that many features corresponded to a specific geometric construction of unit circles known as the flower of life or sacred geometry. They found that multiple grids of this pattern were utilized. The object's design intricately ascends and descends through various sizes of these flower of life grids, employing elegant geometric construction details extensively described by Mark on his website. The creators needed accurate approximations of pi, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, for practical calculations. They also precisely incorporated the golden ratio at a microscopic scale in one of the toughest materials to work with. Therefore, the vase's design was methodically interconnected with complex rules, not random. The makers had a profound understanding of algebra and geometry, indicating that the artifact was not just made, but meticulously designed and manufactured. Their calculations revealed that all proportions in the object are tightly interwoven. Altering even a single parameter in the design would disrupt the entire structure. Mark's team identified at least 15 levels of interrelation, all precisely synchronized down to microscopic scales.
Which is just fucking insane. I mean,
This implies that the vase's shape and structure are the outcomes of computations, and its complexity could be summed up in a single mathematical formula. In fact, the object more closely resembles a mathematical map, meaning that the object looks more like a representation created using mathematical concepts and calculations than a traditional vase.
and it's 5,000 years old. And it's one of like 40,000.
Basically, a mathematical map can be fed into a computer to create a design. This design automatically includes mathematical rules because of the computer program used. This led Mark's team to an unlikely experiment: programming a CAD model using only a mathematical system that was found to determine the object's dimensions and positions without any tuning or arbitrary adjustments to determine how closely it'll match the actual artifact's features. It's remarkable to think a purely mathematical CAD model could map an ancient stone vessel with industrial-level tolerance, but the precise match in the results speaks for itself. This makes one wonder. No humans, trained animals, or natural phenomena, whether modern or ancient, can interpret mathematical formulas and equations to produce lathe-operating motions. The only known device capable of receiving input, maintaining state, executing operations based on set principles, and generating output is a computer. Thus, Mark Kvist's conclusion is that implementing this artifact's design would be impossible without access to some kind of programmable computer-like system.
Yeah.
The idea of ancient computers might seem implausible from the first glance, considering we used to think of computers as semiconductor-based devices. Yet the concept of devices for complex calculations isn't new. The Antikythera mechanism is a prime example of an ancient analog computer, and there were even earlier tools for mathematical functions, though simpler in design. Importantly, the limitations of semiconductor architecture in modern computers don't mark the end of the innovation of computational systems, as we will see alternative architectures being developed, some not only offering greater power, but featuring unconventional designs. The creators of this object managed to consistently maintain tolerances about a third of a human hair's thickness in shaping granite. In many areas, tolerances are even finer, roughly a tenth of a human hair's thickness. To achieve this, tools used to remove excess granite must have been incredibly steady and precise, comparable to high-end modern machinery, ensuring detailed work with minimal errors. The consistent accuracy across various curved surfaces and their relative positioning indicates that the object was either crafted in a single uninterrupted process or involved tool changes with no detectable misalignment. This consistency underscores the importance for the creators that the final product came from a single stone block. The creation process potentially involved computer-like systems adept at interpreting the design and executing the required shaping movements. Mark's conclusion is that such advanced technology is the only plausible explanation for the artifact's precision, raising serious questions about its origins. These findings really can make one think about the chance that we're looking at a sophisticated fake. The real weak point in this scenario is indeed the origin of the vase. In his interview, vase owner and private collector Adam Young addresses this topic, which we don't need to wrangle about here. The artifact possesses a traceable history, affirming its authenticity as a genuine pre-dynastic artifact.
Yes, this one they studied, they picked for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons that they picked it was because they could trace it back at least to the 1800s. So there's tons of these. There's at least 40,000 of them that have been discovered in Egypt. Not exactly like this, but similarly constructed, like very very intricately designed and constructed. So they picked this in particular because it can be traced back until roughly, I think, the 1800s. So they know for sure that this is an artifact that's come from at least to that time period. And the analysis that's been done up to this point has shown pretty definitively that the object is, not just hyper advanced for an Egyptian civilization, but it's advanced to the point where up until very recently, we couldn't have crafted something like this. So even if it were a fake from the 1800s, they wouldn't have been able to craft it back then. So, and again, there are other examples that the archaeologists are fairly convicted that they're from pre-dynastic Egypt. So they're at least 4,500 years old, if not older. And that is honestly a shot in the dark in and of itself, because the method that we use to date things, right? We monkeys that just recently climbed into the fucking woods, is carbon dating. And you can't carbon date stone. So we have no fucking idea when these things were really made. They could be 20,000 years old, potentially, right? Depending on, obviously, how long they've been exposed to the elements and whatnot. But if they were locked away in the bottom of a pyramid somewhere, who knows? Who knows where they even came from? Maybe the Egyptians got a hold of them. They could be many thousands of years older than what we think they are as well. Which might make sense, considering the rumors that they were from a civilization that got wiped out around 12,000 years ago. Known to some as Atlantis, right? Because of Plato. But that's just one word. But yeah, extremely fucking compelling. This is a 3-part series. Holy shit, this is 23 minutes long, this fucking video. And he's going to 3 other parts on it. This is a really big deal. I am subscribed to him too. Good. This is brilliant because Ben's videos are really good. He gets to all the basic details, but he doesn't summarize it to this degree, at least, where he's kind of breaking this down. Drunk Physics, welcome, man. Welcome. Just very, very compelling stuff. Like, this is quite literally hard evidence that there was an advanced ancient civilization functioning. If we can test more of these, again, this vase or vase in and of itself that has been shown pretty definitively to be from the 1800s, recovered from Egypt, and the opinion of the archaeologists in the find is that this is pre-dynastic. So, I mean, we know that this isn't something they just pulled into their ass and made, and this has been proved to have the level of precision that something coming out of the 3D printer would have, and honestly would struggle with, because this is granite that the vase is made of. This is a very hard stone. So encoding all of these interesting mathematical formulas into it as well, it just needs more eyes on it, really. We need more people to study it. We need this to be brought to the forefront. Again, we think maybe it's going to be Skinny Bob or these little aliens out of Mexico that's going to bring us disclosure. But man, like when Ben brought this stuff forward, and this is probably a year and a bit ago that he brought this forward, and then he brought Chris's son is a meteorologist, so he's a PhD, like essentially a material engineer, and his buddy, and they both work for Lockheed Martin, started looking at these things and analyzing them. And then they got this other guy involved too, who's a professor somewhere in Eastern Europe that specializes in analyzing objects with this technology, what they called it. It's just very revealing. It's actually insane. So this is posted in the Discord. I think Digi posted it a day or two ago, but I highly recommend people watch through it. I don't know if he's posted the other parts to it yet, but it is extremely interesting and something I think that everybody should be paying attention to in this sphere, just because this could very well be the thing that really kicks this open, because this is hard evidence. This is what people have been waiting for. There isn't really a way you're going to explain this away. The object was very specifically chosen because it was documented, well documented. The guy and the private collector literally bought it for that reason from a museum. And if we can get more of these objects that we know for sure are from pre-dynastic Egypt, i.e. 4,500 to 5,000 years ago, that are studied and have these same kind of symmetries, then I think for the most part, this is a done deal where we're looking at proof here of some advanced ancient group of people. And by advanced, like really advanced, like not like, yeah, we had boats and you guys are like just riding on llamas. Like they had some kind of computer that made these things out of a solid stone block, a solid block of granite, and encoded some pretty interesting things into the construction of the objects themselves. So crazy shit. I mean, like level 10 crazy shit. So anyway, I'm going to be following this absolutely. But yeah, until next time, everyone, I think that'll probably conclude the stream for this evening. But I will definitely be around tomorrow night. So if people are in the Discord, let's hang out. What's the legitimacy of the vase? Watch the video, Drunk. Watch the video and watch Uncharted X's video on it as well. He does an interview with the owner of the vase. And the vases, there's 40,000 of them that they found in Egypt. So definitely something to check out. But everybody, good to see everybody. Thank you for coming around, everyone. Appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see everybody then.
Streaming through the digital night, Jim Busto, he's guiding the light, unveiling mysteries of the unknown, UFOs in the alien zone. He's a man on a mission, exploring ancient secrets, it's his addiction, debating, discussing with his loyal crew, cosmic conversations, unveiling the truth.